random Disney things in the middle of the night that you probably don't care about, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm the Dapper Danielle, and I know it's been a hot minute since I made a video for you guys here on my YouTube channel, but you know, life happens. Inspiration for a longer YouTube video is a little bit harder versus the simple ones I make on TikTok. But this video is really hitting near and dear to my heart because it's for a great cause. So pay attention to the very end, and here we go. So here in a couple days, I'll be partaking in an event that will be held at Hollywood Studios on April 10th of 2022, where a couple other TikTokers and cast members are going to be competing for the title and belt of the Midway Mania champion. A little more information, here is the video of the man that's putting it together. This is Jason, Tattoo Disney Dad, and his announcement of the event.
What are you doing?
Just getting my belt ready for when I win it back. Check this out. I can't let anybody take this from me. Those 14 content creators or cast members you just saw are trying to take away my belt in the name of charity. Each participant is going to donate $50 and the winner gets to pick the charity that all the money goes to.
Okay, so why am I telling you this? Well, let me explain. I'm really excited to participate in this event and be part of this community where it's all these things are going towards a really good cause. Now, like Jason said in the video, whoever wins gets to choose which charity it's going towards. Some of the content creators are going ahead and they're pulling together funds all into one lump sum to add to the pot. However, I didn't want to do that. I will still be participating, putting stuff into the pot, so whoever wins gets to decide which charity. But I wanted to give the opportunity for you, my followers, to go ahead and donate to a cause that I truly support. And that's gonna be the Cast Member Pantry. Now, to explain what the Cast Member Pantry is, I'm actually gonna let Chibi, voiceover Danielle, take you on a tour, and here we go. Now, to give you a little more context of why this outreach was even created in the first place, we need to sadly travel back to 2020, yes, that dumpster fire of a year, and look back at some awesome things that a small group of cast members did to really help their local community. Our story begins at the end of 2019 and beginning of 2020, where Americans were just starting to hear about this virus called coronavirus. And most were under the assumption that this was a foreign illness and that it wouldn't stick around for very long. And then by the beginning of March, more cases were being detected in the United States. This virus was still new and nobody really knew how it was transmitted. So many businesses across the United States decided to go ahead and close their doors for about 2 weeks. And most businesses around the world did as well. In an attempt to keep the virus from spreading, on March 12th, the Disney company announced that they'd be closing their doors. Most cast members were under the assumption that we would only be shut down for about 2 weeks and then reopen at the very beginning of April. So we went out to our local grocery stores and stocked up on snacks and goodies and meal prepped. And I was one of those cast members that was very excited to have 2 weeks off from work. After all, Disney did announce that we'd be paid through the end of the month, which in all honesty was very exciting. And on March 14th, somewhere in the middle of the afternoon, my CPs started coming up to me asking questions and saying that there was an email that was going around. And within minutes, the leaders of the locations were coming in and taking the CPs up to conference rooms to be able to break the news to them. All Disney College Program, international workers, as well as culinary program students were being sent back home. These students had to be completely moved out of the college program housing by March 18th. The rest of the day, as well as the next coming days, were just full of tears. Most of these students had only just started their program for about 2 to 3 weeks, and some had just finished training and were starting to make new friends. And just like the full-timers and part-timers, the CPs were also under the impression that they would only be off for 2 weeks and then just return back to work as normal. So many of the CPs also went out grocery shopping and had their pantries stocked. But with this sudden announcement, the CPs had to pack up their lives and leave their groceries behind, as many of them didn't have a way to transport the food with them. And this is where Miss Emily steps into the picture. She was assisting the college program students pack up their lives and the few possessions that they had. But looking around, she took note of all this food that was getting left behind. She went around to the college program students to make sure that they didn't throw out these unused groceries. And having no idea how everything would fall into place, she began collecting these extra groceries in her car and then eventually in her own home. And more groceries kept coming, to the point where within 2 weeks she had to move into a 20 by 15 foot storage unit. It was at the storage unit where customers in need could come and collect groceries, household essentials, and pet food. Then over the next few weeks, more furloughs began after the CPs had gone home. The increased need in the community was immediately noticed after those first 2 weeks when Disney did not open right away. Many people, cast member, non-cast member, celebrity, local, all began reaching out and asking how they can help. Donations poured in from the community, fellow cast members began volunteering, and just then a full-blown organization was created, and thus the birth of the Cast Member Pantry. At the time of me filming this video, it is now 2022, 2 years since the shutdown of Walt Disney World, Disneyland, and its fellow parks around the world. Cast members are returning to work, and things are looking up again. However, there is still a need in the community. And now the Cast Member Pantry has expanded past just helping those affected by the furlough from coronavirus. In fact, Cast Member Pantry's website says it best. We believe in the word ohana and what it means for our cast member community. We are family, and family means that no one gets left behind or forgotten. We are honored to provide groceries to our fellow cast members who are experiencing financial hardships. Our application process is simple and ensures cast members can register each month to receive grocery delivery. Today, we have evolved from a storage unit and in-person food distribution to a fully virtual model. This enables us to have groceries delivered directly to cast members' homes. Our virtual model has created the ability to serve cast members all over the United States, including Florida, Hawaii, California, and more. Cast Member Pantry is still helping cast members that are suffering from being furloughed, laid off, and cast members on unpaid medical leave. They also assist with cast members that are not working their full hours, meaning that if you're a part-time cast member and you're being scheduled less than your 16 hours a week, or a full-time cast member who is currently scheduled less than 40 hours a week. And there's also an option for cast members that are just going through general financial hardships. And hold on, I already know what some of you are thinking. Danielle, why would a cast member not be scheduled their normal hours? Well, a couple different reasons. And from my experience as a cast member, one of the main reasons is the other parks. What? Yes, you heard me right. The way the Disney parks have operated in the past and still operate to this day is that even though the parks are completely separate in different states and even in different countries, they are still connected somehow financially. So, for example, at the time that I'm making this video, Shanghai Disney closed again on March 21st of 2022. And because of this, it is now affecting the other parks around the world that are open. Oh, and I almost forgot, Hong Kong Disneyland is also shut down. It even says on their website, as required by the government, Hong Kong Disneyland is temporarily closed until April 20th of 2022. But since these two parks are shut down, the other parks are having to offset their cast member labor and hours to be able to make up for the financial bleeding that these parks are making. The two parks are sitting there empty and people are having to maintain those parks, and those parks are not generating revenue. One of Disney's ways of offsetting this is by limiting overtime hours and creating a forced scheduling minimum on the US parks. So the cast members that work in certain lines of business where they need the overtime hours to be able to generate enough income for the month, they don't have that option right now. Cast Member Pantry understands that because, again, it's made by cast members for cast members. This is how Disney has operated for years, even before coronavirus. Throwback to when Shanghai Disney was opening in June of 2016. All of my hours were cut. That was ridiculous. Anyway, moving on. And since financial situations and labor and everything can change from month to month, Cast Member Pantry has set up an application process that a cast member has to apply once every month. Well, I think they got the gist of it, so they're all yours again, Danielle.
Thanks, Jibby Danielle. You did good. And even if you don't have the opportunity to be able to donate or to be able to support, I would like you to be knowledgeable that this outreach even exists. So now you might be asking, Danielle, why are you having such a vested interest in this outreach? And I think the reasoning why is because once upon a time, I was that cast member that was suffering through financial hardships, and it wasn't because Disney wasn't paying me enough. It was because there were other financial burdens that were happening within my household. At one point years ago, both of my parents had lost their jobs,
and my siblings were still in high school. I was the only person in my family that was generating a regular source of income and having to choose between, okay, do we have enough money and food for lunches for everybody, or do we go ahead and pay the power bill so our electricity doesn't get turned off? That was a real situation in my lifetime at one point. Thankfully, that was just a season that has already passed in my family, but I know that season might be occurring for other cast members currently. Now, for Cast Member Pantry, this doesn't solve an issue. This is just to help alleviate and take one little burden off of a cast member's shoulders if they are trying to financially recover from something happening, whether it be other members in a household losing their jobs, or maybe there was a sudden tragedy in the family and all of the finances are now going towards supporting that. This is just, again, it is not to solve an issue. It is just to help alleviate one burden. And it does make a huge difference. On my TikToks and on my other social media platforms, I talk so heavily about storytelling, but that storytelling does not come alive without cast members. And there's so many cast members that are dealing with outside worries, outside struggles, and they go ahead and put on a magical face and a smile to be able to create a magical moment for you and your family when you come to Disney World or Disneyland, or even our friends over in Alani over in Hawaii. Now, there are two things I want to communicate very clearly in this video, and the first one is directed towards my cast members that follow me. And I know there are a lot of cast members that follow me either here on YouTube or on TikTok. And if you are one of those people that is struggling financially or going through a serious hardship where you are having to choose between putting food on the table or maybe keeping the lights on like I was once upon a time, I want to let you know that it is okay to ask for help. I'm just gonna leave it at that. The second thing I would like to communicate is just a solid thank you to Cast Member Pantry for supporting the cast member community. This is something that I feel like has been very much needed in the community for some time. It's just nobody knew how to do it or knew how to help in the best ways. So to everybody else watching this video though, thank you for sticking around to the very end. I will have all of the information and links to Cast Member Pantry, how you can support their Instagram, their Facebook, all that other good stuff is going to be in my bio, and there will be links to take you directly to those things. If you do end up donating, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and I'm sure Cast Member Pantry greatly appreciates it as well. And also, as an announcement, I would like to continue further supporting Cast Member Pantry. So for the entire month of April, anything bought in the dapperdanielle.com store, 10% of the proceeds all will be going towards Cast Member Pantry. So if you want to go ahead, actually I have him right back here, my little Mushu, judgy Mushu judging you, 10% of that purchase will be going towards Cast Member Pantry to support at the end of the month. So again, thank you guys so much. Thank you for supporting Cast Member Pantry. I can't wait to go ahead and beat everybody at the Midway Mania event on April 10th. And until next time, night night, sleep tight, dream a rest tonight.